You're sitting in traffic, bumper to bumper, not moving, and right next to you, right there, is an entire lane, moving faster, just flowing. And you're thinking the same thing every single person in that car next to you is thinking. What do I have to do to get in that lane? And more importantly, why is everyone around me losing their mind trying to get into it? HOV lanes, high occupancy vehicle lanes, carpool lanes, whatever you want to call them, they are one of the biggest, most expensive, most infuriating scams ever painted onto American asphalt. And today, we're going to bury them. I'm not here to give you both sides. I'm not going to say, well, the intention was good. No, we are done being polite about this. These lanes have been failing us for decades. Cities keep building more of them, and nobody is saying what everyone who drives is already thinking. So let's go. Let's start with the thing that happens every single morning, and it makes my blood pressure spike just thinking about it. You're merging onto the freeway. Traffic is bad. The zipper merge, where cars take turns one by one like a civilized society, would actually move everyone faster. Scientists have proven this. Traffic engineers have proven this. It is not a theory, it is physics. And what does the guy in front of you do? He stops at the front of the on-ramp. Dead stop. Just sits there with his blinker on, waiting for someone to let him into the HOV lane. The entire on-ramp behind him is now backed up. Everyone is waiting for one guy, who apparently has never heard of a zipper merge because he thinks sitting still is the same as moving forward. And it doesn't stop there. You get onto the freeway. Traffic is finally moving. Not great, but moving. And then some guy in the middle lane just stops, mid-lane, because he spotted the HOV lane, and now he needs to cut across 3 lanes to get to it. So he just parks in a moving lane of traffic, because apparently his time is more important than the 20 people who just had to slam their brakes behind him. Oh, and don't even get me started on turn signals. People act like a blinker is a magic wand, like they flick that little stick and the universe legally owes them a gap. Sir, a signal means I would like to change lanes when it is safe to do so. It does not mean I am going now, everyone stop. It does not mean clear the way, I have indicated my intention. You still need a clear path. The blinker is a courtesy warning, not a green light. But because of HOV lanes, people are cutting, diving, and darting across traffic with the confidence of someone who thinks they have the law behind them. They don't. They're just dangerous. Now here's one that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. When traffic is actually moving, not stopped, actually moving, you'd think the lane next to the HOV lane would flow too, right? Wrong. Watch what happens. Drivers in that fast lane, the one right next to the HOV lane, they slow down. They hover. They sit there going 10 below the flow of traffic because in the back of their brain they think there's a lane over there, so I don't need to move over. I'm already in the fast lane. They plant themselves right there and they block everyone behind them. One extra lane has somehow convinced an entire category of drivers that they no longer need to think about the people behind them. The HOV lane doesn't reduce congestion, it redistributes stupidity. And let's talk about who actually gets to use these things. Because this is where it gets genuinely unfair. In many states, electric vehicles get to ride in the HOV lane solo, one person. No carpool required, just because they drive a Tesla. Now look, good for you for buying an electric car truly, but how does that reduce traffic? It doesn't. One person in an electric car takes up exactly as much road space as one person in a gas car. The entire logic of the HOV lane is supposed to be fewer cars, more people per vehicle. Electric cars blow that logic up completely. So now it's not even a carpool lane, it's a you made the right consumer choices lane. Congratulations on your purchase, here's a free commute upgrade. And then it gets worse. In a lot of cities, HOV lanes have quietly transformed into hot lanes, high occupancy toll lanes, which means if you have enough money, you can just buy your way in. Solo driver, no problem, just pay the fee. And the fee isn't fixed, it's dynamic. It goes up the more congested regular traffic gets. So the worse your commute is, the more it costs to escape it. We literally built a system where rich people can pay to skip the traffic that the rest of us are stuck in, on a public road. That was built with public money. And we're all just okay with this? Here's the equity problem nobody wants to say out loud. Higher income workers, people with flexible schedules, remote options, the ability to choose when they leave. Those people can carpool, or they can just pay the toll. Lower income workers, fixed shifts, no flexibility, no one to carpool with because their job starts at 5 a.m. They're stuck in the slow lane, watching a Tesla glide past them in a lane their tax dollars helped build. If that doesn't bother you, I don't know what will. Let's talk about enforcement. Yes, cops do write tickets for HOV violations. That part is real. But here's the problem. To pull someone over, an officer has to be close enough to actually see inside the vehicle, confirm the occupancy, make a judgment call, and decide it's worth the stop. It's sporadic, inconsistent. There's no camera system watching every car the way a red light camera does. So people still cheat, constantly. And some people have gotten very creative about it, picking up strangers, using carpool apps just to qualify, even propping up mannequins in the passenger seat. I wish I was making that up. The threat of a ticket exists. The certainty of one does not. And when people do the math on a fine, they might get once a year versus the time they save every single day. A lot of them take that bet. So the people who actually follow the rules get nothing, and the cheaters roll the dice and usually win. And even when people do legitimately use the HOV lane, here's the part that should end the whole argument. Studies have shown that HOV lanes frequently don't reduce overall congestion on the highway, not meaningfully. The total number of cars on the road doesn't drop, the emissions don't drop the way they're supposed to. All you've done is create a faster lane for a small group of people while making the remaining lanes worse. You've taken road capacity away from the majority to give a perk to the minority, and you haven't actually solved anything. Then there's the geometry of these lanes and how they create their own disasters. Where an HOV lane starts, where it ends, those transition points are chaos. Suddenly, everyone who qualifies needs to get in. Everyone who doesn't needs to get out. You get a wall of merging cars right at the exact moment when traffic is already at its worst. The very lane designed to fix bottlenecks creates new ones. It is a solution that manufactures the problem it was meant to solve. And here's what really kills me. The HOV lane isn't even empty anymore. In a lot of cities, it's packed. But that's almost made things worse, not better. Because now you've got a lane full of cars constantly entering and exiting, weaving in and out at all hours. Every merge is a brake event. Every brake event ripples back a quarter mile into the lanes around it. Think about it this way. If everyone just stayed in their lane and drove in one consistent flow, traffic would actually move more smoothly. Instead, we've created a lane that acts like a giant magnet, pulling cars sideways across the highway all day long. The disruption from all that lateral movement causes more total congestion than if the HOV lane had never existed at all. It's not solving the flow problem. It is the flow problem. Here's the thing that really gets me. Cities are out here spending billions of dollars to add HOV lanes when they could be building something that actually gets cars off the road permanently. Subways, light rail, real public transit. You want fewer cars? Give people a reason not to drive. Give them a train that's faster, cheaper, and more reliable than sitting in traffic alone. But instead, we're painting diamond symbols on asphalt and calling it infrastructure. It is lazy policy dressed up as progress. So what should we actually do? It's not complicated. If you want an express lane, a lane that moves faster, that rewards people for using it smartly, make it express for everyone. No getting on, no getting off in the middle. You commit to the lane, you ride it through, and you exit where it ends. No weaving, no merging drama, no special privileges for electric cars or rich people. Everyone pays the same, everyone gets access. The lane actually flows because nobody is stopping in the middle of it to change their mind. HOV lanes were supposed to be the answer to traffic. Decades later, traffic is worse than ever. The lanes are gamed, unfair, and actively making congestion worse, not by sitting empty, but by turning every highway into a constant cross-lane shuffle that breaks everyone behind it. They are the traffic equivalent of putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg and feeling proud of yourself. The highway doesn't need more rules about who deserves the good lane. It needs fewer cars. And that means real investment in real alternatives. Not diamonds painted on pavement, not a toll booth for the privileged. Actual solutions. Until then, you'll keep sitting in traffic, watching that lane, watching the chaos it's causing, and now at least you know exactly why that is.